I'm Leanna Hawkins, and we are at the 2023 Future of Dealmaking Summit. I am joined by Ramsey Goodrich. He is managing partner at Carter, Morse, and Goodrich. Welcome, Ramsey. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So, Ramsey, you work at the firm exclusively with multi-generational family businesses.
We do.
And I'd love if you could tell me why that's different than working in private equity and why you enjoy what you do and why you do what you do.
Well, the bottom line is we make a difference. When you talk about working with private equity folks, they're in the business of buying and selling. It's a limited time that they own their thing, and they're designing to add value, therefore to sell. Most multi-generational family businesses have never contemplated selling before. Maybe they've received it down from a parent, a grandparent, a great-grandparent, that the whole goal of a family business is to stay in the family. Mm-hmm. But we're seeing dynamics now with an aging boomer population, kids that don't really want the business. It's harder to run a business. We're seeing family M&A becoming more and more important.
Mm-hmm. And so there's no appeal at all for you, private equity?
No. Shockingly.
I was going to say, I asked because, it's an interesting change from what we hear typically now, where everybody wants to be in PE, private equity, and private credit.
Yep. They are wonderful buyers. They're wonderful partners for our family businesses. But when you talk about the sell side M&A, which is our specialty, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. You have to take your time. You've got to do it right. As we say, if you're going to do this once in your lifetime or multiple lifetimes, mm-hmm. you have to take your time and get it right. Private equity, for as good as they are, operate with a different sense of urgency. And so it is a really different dynamic.
And what types of businesses and sizes of businesses do you work with typically?
So ideally we're in core middle market. Target is sort of 50 to 150 million. We'll do deals a little bit smaller than that, much larger than that. That was our award tonight, actually. But really the dynamics are, I'll say, old economy businesses. Think about those businesses that were around 2-3 generations ago. It's going to be manufacturing, distribution, consumer products, mm-hmm. not high tech, fintech or insurtech that didn't exist back then.
Yeah. And so obviously, you mentioned some of the challenges with these multi-generational businesses and either selling them or passing them down to the next generation. What, again, maybe remind us of some of those challenges once again, and then the antidote and the opportunities that you can, and solutions you can help provide for those families?
First and foremost, it's a really emotional decision. And it's not what would my dad think or what would my kids think. It's really going to be, what did my grandparent try to set up to begin with? Will my grandchildren be proud of this decision? So as much as skilled as we are at investment banking and the technical analyses of selling a business, we're also marriage counselors and psychotherapists and a lot of other different things you have to bring to the table. But it is hard to sell a family business, primarily from the emotional side, but also from a preparation side. With a private equity transaction, they have expert management, great systems, strong financials, a growth plan, a vision. Most of these family businesses are run on gut, on instinct, on feel. And so it's tough to articulate some of these stories versus working with a private equity guy who's fully prepared for exit. Mm-hmm.
And what are some of the recommendations that you're giving clients today about the state of the markets? And are you're based in Connecticut, are your clients in the Northeast, or are they all over?
They are all over. We're 100% relationship driven. And so wherever our local relationships take us, we'll go. So no problem getting on an airplane.
All right.
Because we love that family dynamic. The recommendations we're giving right now are really start to prepare. This last year has been tough, but families don't try to time the market. So right now what we're seeing is that generational shift. The kids, frankly, don't want the business. They don't want to be on a factory floor. They don't want to be greasy and dirty. They'd rather be a doctor, a lawyer, an Indian chief. And so what we're seeing is that generational shift. Planning now and preparing really will help you get there longer, because it's going to take longer to upgrade your financials, to get a quality of earnings, to really think about what the right partnership looks like. We try not to use the word buyer or investor, because that implies a financial transaction. Right. But who is the best partner for the company going forward? Who's going to keep your legacy intact? Who's going to keep your management team intact? Who's going to keep your community supportive of the organization? So it takes a little bit longer, but at the end, it's much more rewarding.
And you and your firm have won Lifetime Achievement Award, many other awards throughout the years. What do you think is your secret to your personal success in your career and your family life and abroad, and your firm's success?
Well, the lifetime just means I'm really old. So we don't need to talk about that one. Look, most investment bankers do the same thing. We do our due diligence, we write a book, we call investors, we try to get a deal closed, right? So what we do is no different. I think the real challenge, or why we keep winning all these awards, is how we do it. We have 5 core values that we find so critical to our success. Insatiable curiosity. You have to ask the next question to really more deeply understand the situation. Run through walls. You have to commit whatever, whenever, wherever. Connecting personally. We become friends with our clients, not just clients. And so now we're going on vacations with them and know their kids well, things like that. Team player, we actually have a whole series of what we call the core 4. You got to have a good wealth manager. Believe it or not, wealth manager in an M&A transaction doesn't sound logical, but you need to have it for family businesses. Great lawyers, great accountants, and of course, an investment bank. So our core values is really what sets us apart from anything else, and I think our clients really appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate those values and the core essence of the business and the morals that you have there. You really have achieved a lifetime career, and we are so happy to honor you here today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And you've been watching M&A TV.